Hello, my friends. I am so glad you're here for this bonus episode at the end of December 2025. This is Leah. You know me, and I am excited to talk to you a little bit today about what's new with my business and podcasts and all of those things. If you follow me on the socials, you know that I am in the process of a rebranding and I'm aligning everything to my business name, Lead Loving Life, because it's really all about working with women who are leaders in their communities, in their homes, in their businesses, and those women that want to lead lives, businesses, and communities that they absolutely love. And it's time, right? You're ready to step boldly into a life of aligned impact and the ripples it creates. You know me, if you've been listening for even 5 minutes to this podcast, that's what I'm all about, making impact, helping others making impact, and the ripples that it creates, because that's at the end of the day where the bulk of the impact comes from. So, just to remind you who I am, Leah Silvestri Franklin. I am a women's leadership consultant and transformational guide. As you remember, or might not, I have been a CEO for 20 years. I ran organizations that ranged in size from $1 million in revenue to nearly 20 million in revenue and staff sizes from 8 to 10 to 250. And the majority of those staff in the 20 years were women. And I am passionate and have always been passionate about making an impact on women and girls and the lives that they create and the lives that they share. So this podcast, bringing under the lead loving life umbrella is really focusing on the ways to explore different foundations for our lives, for our businesses, and our community leadership. It's about a foundation, and it's about a foundation that's rooted deeply in being present over being perfect. It's about taking aligned action over following the shiny object syndrome that we all get caught up in. I am the guilty of all of these things that I'm listing for you guys. I've learned from my experiences. I've helped others learn from those experiences and help them grow from them. So the other areas that are part of this foundation are learning and leaning into self-trust and intuition, right? We all have it. It's that gut feeling. It's learning how to use it and how to capitalize on that, really doing that instead of focusing on all the shoulds and trends that are popping up in our lives, right? It's about staying connected to our values and our integrity. And it's about using that as a basis for all that we do, as opposed to just staying busy, taking actions, filling our calendar just to be busy, not necessarily being values and integrity driven. And then we all are here to make impact in all the different ways, right? And the way that I work with women and the way that I look at things is coming from a place of soul and strategic alignment, right? Our soul, our heart, our centers, and then the structures that support that, those soul alignment items, and bringing them into shape, into life with structure, and bringing them out into the world that creates impact and ripples. What are we going to talk about on this podcast? Oh, so many things. I just have a few like big areas that I'll outline today, but it's going to evolve over time, over space, over the questions that I get from y'all, the input that I get from y'all, and the guests that I get to have. For sure, we're going to talk about personal identity, what that means, what it looks like. How are we evolving as people? Professional identity. How are we evolving in our lives, our businesses, our communities? Connection and how important that is. Culture. What's the culture that you want to create in your business, in your impact, and in your immediate world? What's energy? And how do we use that in our favor? How is presence and purpose connected together, so related to what we do and how we show up in the world and the impact that we make? We're going to talk about life in general. We're going to talk about things that just come up. You know me, I'm a woo woo girl. There's always going to be woo woo mystical elements And I'm also grounded in practicality. So I'm going to be able to take those woo woo elements. I love astrology, human design, Enneagram, all of those things, and numerology. And I use those in my work, in how I set up my business and how I make impact in the world. And I'll share how I do that with you. Again, it all comes together in a practical package. And that's what we'll touch on and more in this newly branded podcast. I want you to be able to lean into and create a version of success that feels meaningful to you. It doesn't have to be just measurable by goals and objectives. It needs to be drenched in meaning, or what's the point? We will talk about freedom, like how does freedom look in your life? What is internal freedom? Freedom doesn't mean just more time on your calendar. It means that you are truly being yourself and being who you are in this world and not having to prove yourself. It's about trusting your intuition and that you know in your gut what's right for you and your business. It's about leading from truth instead of fear. It's embracing that abundance mindset versus that scarcity mindset. These are just a few topics and a few areas that we'll talk about and touch on throughout the many episodes to come under this new Lead Loving Life banner. And I really want you to know that it's a brand new year. And this year, based on astrology, based on numerology, setting us up for forward momentum big time. After the end of the third week in February, it is going to be all about action. And I want to help you get ready for that. I want to help you support your dreams and the vision that you have that you are bringing to life in this world. If that's what you're interested in, this is the podcast for you. I really, really want to invite you and remind you that stay connected to yourself. You don't have to have it figured out. There's no need to panic about, especially what I said about action in the new year. You just need to be present. You need to listen to yourself. There's already knowledge inside you that's trying to emerge. So let's focus on making that happen. So take a breath, be here now, and let's learn together and share more about leading lives, businesses, and communities that we absolutely love. If this sounds good to you, if this is what you want to learn more about, you want to be present for, you're in the right place. You're here at the right time, and I could not be more thrilled and excited that you're here. New episodes of Lead Loving Life will still drop bi-weekly. The first episode, though, is going to be ahead of schedule. We're going to start on the first Monday of the year. January 5th, 2026 is the first full episode of Lead Loving Life, and then it will be bi-weekly from there. Don't be missing out. Don't miss an episode. Follow, subscribe wherever you listen or watch the podcast. It'll be the same feed. It'll be same everything. The title will change and the thumbnail will change and the content will change a little bit. Please share all of this with your friends because that's how we're going to build this community of women and this movement of women leading from our hearts, leading from our souls, creating lives, businesses, and communities that we absolutely love. And the ripples will be astounding. And we're going to change the world. Join me. Let's have our best year yet. Let's go.